Hey food friends, welcome to my channel. I just want to say a special thank you to all my subscribers and viewers from last year. You truly inspired me to continue cooking and sharing my budget-friendly recipes with you this year. Today I'm going to show you how to take a super cheap ingredient, a chicken carcass. We're going to turn it into a broth and remove all the meats, and then add some herbs and veggies to make an herb chicken and vegetable soup. It's sure to be balanced in nutrition and flavor, and it's super easy on budget and will fill your heart and soul. This is definitely one of those offcuts you will want to learn to use. These two whole chicken carcasses were only $2.49 and it's quite heavy. I'm just going to use one for the soup. In a deep skillet on medium-high, I'm going to brown my chicken carcass on all the sides. This will add extra flavor into the broth that I will make from this. Be sure to get each sides. Next, I fill this deep skillet with water, and it's 4 liters deep. Add 1 bouillon cube or some chicken bouillon liquid or powder. This will add great flavor. I'm using some carrots, an onion, and some potatoes. Make sure your bouillon cube is melted into your broth. I'll be using some Savoy cabbage as well, but you can use any type of cabbage, or green beans would be a great substitute if you don't like cabbage. Bring this to a boil. I'll be using some fresh herbs, including parsley and cilantro. Once the carcass is boiling, I cover and I cook for 20 minutes. I like to remove any impurities that float to the top with some paper towel. This broth is starting to look great already, so I'm just going to flip this carcass. You can see how hollow it is inside. At this point, I'll remove any large bits of chicken that I can, and then I'll remove the rest later when the carcass is cooled down. Cover and cook for another 20 minutes. While that is happening, I will peel my potatoes and carrots and cut them into bite-sized pieces. After 20 minutes, this is done. I will remove the carcass from the pot and put it on a plate to cool. Here you can see the carcass, and it does have quite a bit of meat on it, especially in certain sections, and when this is cooled down, it'll be the perfect time to remove all the meat. Check for and remove any bony bits that sunk to the bottom of your broth. Bring this back to a boil on medium-high, and you can take a large spoon and just graze it along the top and sides to remove excess fat. Of course, it's necessary to keep some fat as it's part of a healthy, balanced diet, so remove as much or as little as you'd like. Once this is coming to a boil, dice 1 medium yellow onion and add to your soup broth. Finely chop 3 cloves of garlic and add. I washed my herbs and separated the stems from the leaves, and then I'm just going to chop my stems and add that to my pot. These stems can cook longer than these delicate leaves. These leaves will be added towards the end of my soup. If you don't have cilantro, you can certainly just use parsley. Use as little or as much as you'd like. Now I add my peeled and washed potatoes and carrots, and that's 2 medium carrots and 5 medium potatoes. I also added the hard stems of the cabbage leaves, and then I chopped 4 cabbage leaves and added that. Cabbage is one of the most affordable vegetables out there, along with potatoes and carrots. Add some all-purpose seasoning to enhance your broth. If you don't have it, add some garlic powder, some dried herbs, and some salt. Once my chicken carcass is cooled, it's time to remove the meat, and this requires patience and grace in the kitchen. Be sure to remove as much meat from the bones as you can. And of course, be sure to taste your broth and make sure you like what you're tasting and adjust the salt if necessary. Cover and cook for 10 minutes so that your potatoes and carrots can soften up and release some of that starch, and your soup will start to thicken a bit. Now I want to show you just how much meat I got out of this carcass. And so here's my meat and my bones separated. I'm likely going to keep those bones and freeze them and use them in the future for a bone broth. I have just under 1.5 cups of chicken meat, and in goes into my soup. This won't need cooking much further. Just mix everything together. And then finally chop your herbs. When making an herb soup with fresh herbs, you really want to taste the flavor, so it does not require much cooking. Add chopped herbs to the soup and turn off the heat. Mixing everything together and the residual heat will fully cook these herbs through. You can certainly cook it for a few minutes longer, but it's not necessary. Now our soup is finished and it smells so delicious and herbaceous. It's loaded with nutrients. It has carbohydrates. It has some fat, protein, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. Let's serve this up. If you serve this with a crusty bun or a few slices of toast, this would be a complete meal and it would fill you right up. Cabbage cooked well in broth tastes so good, and this broth was herbaceous and savory. Using chicken carcass is a great way to make a zero waste recipe. Give this recipe a try and go feed yourself. Thanks for watching.